Welcome to TalkNorth.com. Thanks to our longtime producer, Brandon Morton. Please download before you listen. If you'd like to advertise with us, you can reach us at talknorthpodcast@gmail.com. And please follow us on Twitter at TalkNorthPod. Two promo codes to be aware of. BiteSquad.com. Use the promo code TalkNorth to get your first delivery free. And go to SodaStick.com, the great local apparel company. Use the promo code YouBetcha to get free shipping on any sized order.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Double S anytime, man.
Turn this thing up. Let's do this.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steven.
Always passionate, always fiery. You're listening to the Strom Sports Show. Take it away, Steven.
Happy Sunday, everybody. This is the Strom Sports Show, episode 57 here. Steven Strom here, TalkNorth.com. Great to have you with us today. We have a bunch of things to get into today. Greg Coleman, former Vikings punter and the current sideline analyst for the Minnesota Vikings radio network, will join me in just a bit here. We've got Twins, we've got Vikings training camp, we've got a movie review, okay? And I will tell you that in just a second here. But as always, we are on iTunes, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. When you want to advertise for the show, contact Jim Suhan. Big shout out to my producer, Brandon Morton, and my video editor, Matt Augusta. All right, quick story time here, maybe a little critique time as well. If you know me, I am the biggest sports nerd in the world, okay? I mean, that's literally, I watch it 24/7. If I'm home, SportsCenter's on. If I'm watching TV at night, it's a Football Life on NFL Network. I am a sports nerd. So I don't go and see movies often. And I admit, I am sort of a movie guy. I mean, if I sat here, and I usually go through my Mount Rushmore with people, and it's well respected around the so-called biz. I have two buddies that are film majors, and they're really into it, and they respect my movie opinion, okay? Now, once again, I don't get out to the movies a lot anymore. And this one particular movie, I have been waiting for it to come out. I mean, it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's out right now, and I was so excited. The cast is great. Brad Pitt, Leonardo, you've got Al Pacino, you've got Kurt Russell, you've got the beautiful Margot Robbie. I mean, it is a action-packed cast, okay? And with the trailer and everything came out, very excited. It looked like it was going to be really good. I know Charles Manson's in it and all that kind of stuff. And I go to see it on Thursday, okay? And the beginning of it, you know, I'm going to try not to spoil it for you guys, but I'm just going to give you my opinion on it. So, the beginning of this movie, they set the scene. It looks like a classic Tarantino movie, okay? It has the feel for it. It's like, okay, they're establishing everything. And then, as you move forward into an hour, what happens in a movie? You're supposed to get a plot. There is no plot, or you can't figure out the plot. An hour and a half into it, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, when's the action gonna start? 2 hours into it. Where's the plot? This is still going nowhere. Why are there a bunch of characters that have not even been relevant at all after one scene? It was so disappointing. I cannot tell you. At the end of the movie, it is one of the most ridiculous endings you'll ever watch. Ever watch. It got me so... Tarantino, whatever his name is, completely played out the audience. Completely. You had a realistic movie for 95% of the film. And in the last 5%, I'm telling you folks, when you watch the ending, and if you see the ending, you're going to think, that sports guy was right. Steven Strom was right. The ending is the most ridiculous thing you'll ever see. I could not believe it. I was so disappointed in this movie. They had Margot Robbie in, okay? Margot Robbie. $10 million for about 10 minutes of movie time. Tarantino. Margot Robbie is one of the most beautiful women ever. If you're going to give her $10 million, sir, at least give her some more screen time for the audience, okay? Why bring in Kurt Russell if you're going to show him for 5 minutes? Why bring in Al Pacino if you're going to show him for 8 minutes? It is the most overrated, and I guess this is what he tried to do. He dragged in the audience by getting this outstanding, wonderful, first name kind of cast, and completely duped me. That's how I feel. So disappointed. I couldn't believe the ending. How are you going to have a movie that's realistic for 95% of the time with no plot, with a bunch of star-studded cast, and not use them, and have the most confusing, all-over-the-place movie I've ever seen? And once again, I've seen a lot of movies, okay? A lot. My Mount Rushmore goes along the lines of The Shawshank Redemption, The Hurt Locker, Cinderella Man, and Gladiator. Something along the lines of that. So I have a respectable Mount Rushmore of movies. I can't tell you enough how disappointed I was in this movie after being so excited. As a sports nerd as I am, I don't get out to the movies a lot. And I don't want to say wasting. I don't want to say wasting money because I don't regret a lot of things in life. But this was the most disappointing, underwhelming, confusing movie I've ever seen in my life, and I have never been more disappointed. Never been more disappointed. Okay? Anyways, just wanted to get that off my chest because this is more than a sports show now. Maybe I should start giving movie critiques. Well, who knows? All right, Minnesota Twins. We'll start with that. Then we'll get to Greg Coleman. Little Vikings after that. Now let's make this abundantly clear. Now, the Twins front office have made it. I mean, when you obvious isn't even the word. The front office of the Twins have made it so clear to the fans that we are satisfied. Okay? And we have been screaming and moaning and complaining about the Twins not making a trade. And you know what? The reality of it is they were never going to make a trade. It's all smoke signals. Everything you hear, the Twins are interested in Syndergaard. The Twins are interested in Marcus Stroman. The Twins are really pushing hard in Madison Bumgarner. It's all fake news. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to do anything that monumental, okay? And I know some of you guys thinking that Syndergaard trade for the two top prospects is too much. If they would have thrown in Diaz and Syndergaard for those two top prospects, I would have done it because let's be honest here, guys. If they go and trade for Syndergaard and they go win a World Series, the Twins being, are we really thinking about Royce Lewis and the other guy? I mean, let's be honest. This is an all-in type of season. And with the Twins not making this move, it has definitely just been so clear to me that they are telling us, the fans, the media, that we are satisfied. We know we aren't supposed to be here. We don't want to blow anything for the future. We are just going to rest on our laurels. And that's what they're going to do this season. They are speaking to this fan base after they were projected 85 wins this year. They're on pace for 98. The attendance is up 15%. The TV ratings are up 40%. Players and fans have done their part, and the Twins front office should do the same, but they will not do it. They will refuse to do it. It doesn't matter who the GM is. It's the same owner. It's the same mindset of the GM that we are a small market team where we can't make the big move. We can't trade the big asset to go all in, and that's just the reality of the situation. A wise man once said, you cannot evolve unless you are willing to change. And for the Twins, that has not ever been the mantra, to go buy, to go sell your future, to go out and try to add that one big piece to a already legitimate World Series contender. That's not what they do, and it just seems like they'll never be like that. So I'm going to break it to you guys. They're not going to make some big blockbuster move. And I hope they prove me wrong. I hope I eat my words by saying this. But I don't know how many more times I can read a report, I can read a tweet, or I can read an alert on my phone saying, the Twins are interested in such and such. Because to me, it's all nonsense. Obviously, you're interested in Madison Bumgarner. Obviously, you're interested in Noah Syndergaard. Obviously, you're interested in Marcus Stroman. But until you do something, and until you have a reputation of doing something, I will never believe it. Actions speak louder than words, my friends. And when the Yankees say something like that, I know they're going to make a move. When the Houston Astros say that, I know they're going to make a move because they've done it in the past. For the Minnesota Twins, it's all been about selling. When they made it to the wild card, they started to sell. They sold who was the closer? Brandon Kinsler. Okay, when they did that, I'm like, all right, they're selling, and they eventually ended up making the playoffs somehow. But they have never been a buying team, and it just doesn't seem like they're going to do that. Number 2 here to this Twins point, the importance of Byron Buxton is now abundantly clear as well. He has started 72 games this season. The Twins are 49-23 when Buxton starts. He was out on July 14th of this year. He's been out a couple times, but I'm just counting this year. When Buxton went out July 14th, and that was after the Twins won the first 2 games of a 3-game set with the Indians out of the All-Star break, the Twins went 4-8. Okay? There is no coincidence to this. Buxton brings speed. He brings defensive dependability. He has this contagious energy around the team that you really can't. There's no other guy in that clubhouse that brings that type of vibe around that team, and Buxton is just essential to a run in the postseason. If the guy can get on base, we've seen him beat out ground balls. We've seen him score from first base off a CNI single. Buxton is so important to this team for a magnitude of reasons, and he needs to continue to stay healthy. And as I say this, Miguel Sano has absolutely heated up as well. And I know I came on here and I said that the Twins don't need Sano, but you know what? It's an added bonus when he hits like this, and he is a premier threat right now when he's in this type of mode. Byron Buxton is far more important in my opinion because you look at the record, what they did without Sano versus they did without Buxton, and I know it's not a one-man team, but Buxton does so much more. He is so much more valuable to this team than Miguel Sano because of his defensive dependability, because of his speed around the bases, and he has some power to it. I mean, he has some power to him. He hit a double in the first game back against the White Sox in this series. I can't complain anything else really about the Twins right now. They're beating the teams they have to beat. They should complete this 3-game series today. This is recorded on a Saturday, so I don't know if they win. But I'll be real with you guys. The Twins' biggest thing this year, and this is what I've been most impressed with, the way they bounce back. You look at a team in the Twins that hadn't lost 3 games in a row all season, since a couple of weeks ago. Their ability to just right the ship, forget about what happened the last game, and go out and win, that's been the most impressive part of this team, and I think it's a credit to Rocco Baldelli, who's had a rough couple of weeks here with the bullpen and everything, but for the most part, that's the most impressive part for me about the Minnesota Twins this year, because there's been multiple times in the past where if they get into a slump, it's a slump. It's losing 8 out of their next 10 type of thing. And for the Twins, it hasn't been like that really, and their ability to bounce back has been the most impressive part for me. Greg Coleman, he is a character, and he is going to join me next. We'll preview the Viking season and ask him a little personal questions, as he was the first ever, if you didn't know this, first ever black punter in the NFL. And we're joined by Greg Coleman, former punter for the Minnesota Vikings from 1978 to 1987, and now the current sideline analyst for the Minnesota Vikings radio network. Greg, Steven Strom here from TalkNorth.com. It's a pleasure to have you on today. Thank you so much for giving me the time.
Double S, anytime, man. It's getting close, and I'm not ready to put the golf clubs away just yet, but training camp starts here, tomorrow with everybody, the veterans reporting Thursday, and then it's on. I mean, the goal is from day one, the march to Miami. I mean, and that's the bottom line. That's what everybody's going to be focused on. Yeah, there are a lot of things that will transpire on this journey, but ultimately, that's what this team is looking to do.
Oh, man, Greg's getting me fired up. I'm very excited. It's been a long, long offseason, I think, for all us Viking fans after the ending of the season last year with the Chicago Bears. But, hey, this is the greatest part about football. There's a new season, and it's coming up here as training camp approaches. All right, let's first get into last year I want to get into first. 8-7-1, obviously a disappointing season. I just wanted to get your thoughts really quickly, and then we'll turn the page to this season. But what do you think happened last year that it seemed like the offense and the defense could just never get on the same page?
It's not one particular item or incident or circumstance that derailed this football team last year. It was a combination It was a combination of injuries. It was a combination of lack of execution.